The reason why I made this workshop, this is new, is because I think we as skeptics sometimes are a bit rude and sometimes we're a bit like an asshole. This is going to be completely different from everything that you've already heard. Not only am I going to be speaking in English, this is going to be different, very different from what you're used to. All right. We're going to do a workshop and this is interactive. So you're going to get a chance to scream out at me if you want. And please feel free to take photos of me so that I can send them to my children who will know that I'm on because we're only out to have our children to respect us, right? All right. You ready? If you know the answer to what I'm going to tell you, shush, say nothing because it'll spoil it for anybody who's sitting near you. Nobody here has seen this talk, I'm sure, because I've done it other places, but I've not done it in Germany. All right. I want you to imagine. I want you to think of somebody in your life you like, somebody who you interact with often, a coworker, a neighbor, an in-law, but that friend or that person has some strange beliefs, right? You know that. They believe in lots of things without a lot of evidence. And sometimes they come to you and they say, "What do you think? You're a skeptic. Tell me." And you say to yourself, "They're so frustrating." When it's your own family member, it's so frustrating, isn't it? When they believe something. Now, I want you to picture that person in your mind. You don't have to say anything. Just think of that person in your mind, who it is that would be your subject. Think of that person. It is somebody you like, somebody you want to have interactions with more often, somebody that you want to have good conversations with, somebody you would like to have some influence over. The reason why I made this workshop, this is new, is because I think we as skeptics sometimes are a bit rude and sometimes we're a bit like an asshole, right? So we're convinced that what we should do is win the argument. I don't see any nodding. Is that us? No? Yes? No? So we want to win the argument. But what happens when you win the argument is sometimes you lose what we would say in America, the war. Okay? So what I want you to do is this is an empathy workshop. I want you to think of your friend throughout all the examples I'm giving you. Okay? And if this magic thing works, when people have questions about unusual things, I want them to come to you and say, "What is this? What do you think?" Because when they have questions about dangerous things, important things, you want them to come to you and have that conversation with you. So, like, let's say, can somebody yell something at me? I don't care. What would be an important thing? Yes.
I have a friend who believes in traditional Chinese medicine.
Right. Okay. So she believes in traditional Chinese medicine, which is a harm, maybe in long term. Something more dangerous today. When somebody comes to you today and has a dangerous idea, what is it? "I think I can fly. I'm going to jump off the building." What? I'm not vaccinating my kids, right? Okay. Another thing that you should keep in mind is that the language we use, and I'm not talking about English versus German, the language we all use means nothing to that person over there, even if you're speaking the same language. So think about words like theory. What's another word that has two meanings in the world of the paranormal versus the skeptic? Belief, skeptic, energy, enlightenment. Yes, these are all words that mean something to us. When somebody says, "I feel your energy," we might be thinking of electrical socket, right? They're thinking of energy, energy that's all over your body. And it's a different world, right? It's a different meaning. So until you can have a conversation, at least on the explaining the words so that you know and they know the same word means this. So what does evidence mean to a person who believes in Bigfoot? What does evidence mean to a skeptic? They're different. So you need to find a way of making those words so that we have some kind of common understanding. So that's the empathy exercise we're going to do today. All right. I hope nobody knows what this is. If you do, shush. Okay. Does anybody out here know what this is? Good. Oh, yeah, yeah. Cha-cha-cha, cha-cha-cha. Okay. Your friend, remember, you're all imagining a friend, right? Everybody has a friend, coworker, loved one, something, right? Yes, you do. Okay. I can't, you have to, is it interactive? So your friend on their phone comes to you at the dinner table, work day, neighborhood, whatever, and says, check this out. Look, pick whatever picture you want in your mind, pick one, and you say, look, this was on my body just 3 weeks ago. What is that? And you look at it, you go, I don't know. Right? Because we're not assholes. We're not going to say, oh, well, that's such and such. You say, I don't know, right? That's the magic words that we should as skeptics saying. It's okay to say, I don't know. And I think we need to get over that. So whatever image you pick here is what it is. They're showing you that image on their phone. And you say, I don't know. Okay, so what are the things you should say to that person next? What is it? Okay, well, they don't know.
First, I would ask, is it really you that's on this?
That is a skeptic. He wants to say, is it really you in the picture? Okay, well, I don't know. So this is somebody's, I don't know if that's a thigh or what that is. There's something on the right here. That I don't know where it is. This is oh, I'm told that there's a little blinky thing on here. I don't know what I don't want to touch anything. I'm afraid to touch it. But that's the knee. Can you see the knee thing? Right? Okay. So what other kinds of things can you say to the person?
Show me.
Show me? Uh-huh.
So what do you think?
What do you think? Yeah. Okay, now you know your friend has some weird ideas. You know that. So you're kind of already thinking to your mind, this might get weird, right? So these are real screenshots for a real phenomenon that's been happening on the internet. You guys don't have it? That's fine. But there are people, there's websites full of this information. And I'll show you what it is, but I'm going to lead you there a little at a time. Because this idea of this workshop I'm having is I want you to think about it from the viewpoint of your friend, not you as skeptics, but how do they see this? If you wake up one morning and this is on your skin and you don't know how you got it, how would you feel? If you were your friend, tell me. Scared. What else? Surprised? Confused? What did I drink yesterday? I shouldn't let that guy in my house again. I don't know. You don't know. It's scary. I don't know what that is. So they would be afraid too. Okay. I'm afraid to touch this thing. I'm going to use this. All right. Anybody, don't say who this is if you know who this is. Okay. Your friend now comes to you and says, I was doing some research on the internet and I came across this video of this guy and he's doing a talk. And I'm curious. I don't know what this is. Does anybody raise some hands? Do you know who this is? Okay, 3 or 4 of you guys. Okay. So I want people to tell me, maybe you should show up your hands. Show up your hands as not who he is. I don't want to know who that is. I want you to tell me what your friend sees. The person in your mind is watching a video and this is the screenshot. What do they see? Some hands up and I will call him. Back there in the blue lanyard.
He's an expert.
How come he's an expert? What is it? What expert? What does it make you feel like he's an expert? Preacher. Ooh. Oh my God, he has books. He must be smart. Good Lord, the guy's brilliant. He must be a professor. What else? He wrote the books way in the back in the blue.
He has seasoned hair in his shirt.
Oh my God, look at his hair. Doesn't he look amazing? Look, he's got a full head of hair. The woman with the pink thing on. Oh, he has an open kind of look. He looks very. Okay. Do you think he looks like somebody who would have a cat or a dog? You know, a nice guy. In the white shirt right there with a blue lanyard. Well, you're all wearing blue lanyards. What am I thinking?
Well, the letters and the whole background, so you got
Doesn't that look amazing? Yes. Okay, so this man looks very professional. Look at the website. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Look at the background. Doesn't that look great? Doesn't it look sci-fi? Very 1970s. Okay, next picture. Your friend has shown you this. This is him giving a talk. I'm not telling you this because this is what is going on. The video your friend has watched has thousands of people in the audience. We never see them, but you can hear them when they do the Q&A. It sounds like there's 10,000 people in the room. So here he is on the screen giving this lecture in front of everybody. Tell me what you think that your friend sees when they see this man give a talk. Yes, he's important. Good gracious, I'm not on, well, I am, but authority, yes. What else? Yeah, he's an old man, yes.
Successful.
He looks successful. Why do you say successful?
Because there's a big audience.
Obviously, you'd have to be successful to have an audience. Sir, right there. Cufflinks. Thank you for noticing that. And then behind you? Must be. He's got a computer. He's got cufflinks. Who wears it? How many of you guys have cufflinks on today? Ah, there's one. The person who noticed it. Who wears cufflinks? Only professional people. I'm telling you. You show those off. So, right. So this man to your friend looks very important. He looks like he knows what he's talking about. He looks like a professor. He's got amazing hair. I mean, cufflinks, right? Okay, now this slide I'm going to show you. But I don't want you really reading it. So try not to read it. This is, your friend has told you now that they have seen this video. What is the phrase you should say to them? What I want to hear is what advice what are you going to say to your friend who says, I saw the video? Where'd you find it? Or give me the link. I want to see it. Let me see the video, right? Right. That's how you say it. You want to say, give me the video so I can look at it. And then once you've seen the video, you say, what an idiot you are. Do you cross your arms and go, oh my God? What do you say? You say, can we talk about it? Yeah, what did you think? Here's what don't say, here's what I think, because I don't want you to come across as an authoritarian jerk. I want you to say, that's it. Somebody in the green way in the back.
Yeah, I have some questions about that. So maybe you can explain your point from your view.
Okay, he says, I have some questions about that. So what you're trying to do is start a conversation. And you don't want to look like you're the authority. You want to look like, I'm open to having a conversation. So you might start off with, on lunch, can we talk? Because I saw that video and I'm really confused, or I'm really interested, or wow, that was fascinating. Let's talk about it. So you want to have on an equal footing, peer to peer, right? You want to say, I was really interesting. Let's talk about that. Now, mhm. Yeah. Okay. So he's saying for the audio that I feel like this guy looks professorial. This is very convincing. This looks very interesting. Okay. So what happens is the video that you watched, because you were all nice people and you would have watched that video your friend sent you, is talking about UFOs. All right. So it goes on and on about how people were abducted, and the people who were abducted all have these marks on their body somewhere, right? It fades after a couple weeks. Nobody knows what it is. So therefore it is aliens, right? Okay. So this website talks about how all of the people who have the marks also have had near close abductions or seen something weird or whatever. So that's the commonality according to that man's video that you've just watched. Because like I said, you're nice people. You watched the video because your friend said, let's watch the video. All right. Show of hands, without saying anything, has anybody figured out what those marks are? 1, 2, and you saw it already, I think, right? 3 of you. Okay, I want you to hold that moment that you guys don't know the answer. How does that feel to you to not know the answer? It's uncomfortable. Your friend is asking these questions and you can't Google. You're on a cruise ship somewhere and you can't get internet. You have to rely on just your looking at it. So that's how I want you to feel at this moment, is how vulnerable it can be to not have the answer, to look for answers and you find some guy who looks like a professor who's written books. That looks amazing, correct? All right. And UFOs are abducting you. Think about that. How does it feel to be a person who thinks they're being abducted by aliens? Now, we laugh, but how would it feel to know that you're going to go to bed and you don't know if you're going to end up on a mothership somewhere, branded, or your children are going to be taken away from you, or you're going to be vaccinated or something? You don't know. It's scary. Think about how that feels. That's a very scary feeling, not knowing that. Okay, next slide. So what you're looking at here is also from that website. Nobody spoil this if you know. These are some of the different marks that have been gathered because people send screenshots of the things on their body and they send them in to the website, and that man has them on the website. These are some examples. Okay. That's scary. Look at that. They've got even, oh my gosh, it looks like a target. Am I a target? Does your friend think they're a target, that the space aliens are out there and zapping them as they walk down the streets? Because sometimes the things appear like on their neck and their arms and odd places. Sometimes they do. So it's scary. And remember, you don't know either. Okay, I'm going to put you out of your misery. Who wants to know what the answer is? Yeah. Okay. So I want you to think about how awkward it is. Now, I'm going to show you the answer. And I want you to find a way in your mind to allow your friend, your partner, your whoever it is to save face. That's so important. They need to understand you're not here to mock them. You're not here to ridicule them. You're not here to be the expert. You want them to come to you when they have questions about, should I cancel my chemotherapy? Should I vaccinate my children? Should I jump off the building because I think I can fly? When those important things are occurring to you, that's what's important. Not winning these little piddly arguments where we're like, oh, Bigfoot isn't real. Yeah, let's have a conversation. So think about that. I know you guys are all dying, so I'm prolonging it, okay? But here's, no, I'm kidding. Okay. Oh, I'm on time. So this is an American thing we do. I need to take a selfie with you guys. Thank you. Okay, hold on. Wait. I got a video. Okay, here we go. Yee! Okay, here we go. I'm here all day. Tomorrow too. There will be no time for questions, I mentioned too. Here's what it is. Okay, so I could tell you that most of the victims were women with long hair. Would that have given it away? How many women here have had a curling iron burn or a hairdryer burn? Okay. Lots of women in this audience. How many men have had a curl? No, I'm only kidding. This is a phenomenon. Like when you burn yourself on the stove, you get a burn and then you don't realize you have the burn until days, hours later. And then you go, oh, how did I do that? And if you're in a hurry, which of course you're in a hurry, you're trying to dry your hair, you're trying to curl your hair, you zap yourself and then you don't realize it until you go, what the heck? Where did I get that from? Right? Women out there or whoever, you all know. So this is a burn. I think a lot of hair dryers now have a guard on it, so it doesn't going to affect you. This seems to be a phenomenon from the past. What has happened is this guy, his name is Jacques Vallée. If you all saw the movie Close Encounters of the Third Kind, he's the scientist or whatever it was that they profiled on there. He's a very famous UFOologist, very famous. So he started collecting these and people started sending photos in saying, oh my gosh, I've been burned too. And then he starts grilling them and he says, have you had any UFO experiences? Well, just so happens I have. But who would be talking to Jacques Vallée if they hadn't already had a UFO experience? You're on his website because you already believe that it's possible, right? So as you can see, this is the answer. But you have the answer now. But I don't want you to give the answer to your friend because you'd be a jerk. So how do you say this? Somebody have an answer? She has an answer. Tell me. She says, oh my gosh, I got it myself. I have to tell you this. Anybody else have a scenario that they want to give me? Okay. What are you doing before you go to bed? He's got the Socratic method. Okay. So how about some scenarios like you would say, like she said, I was confused too. Boy, that was weird. Oh my gosh, what the heck was that? You know, I did some Googling. I didn't know myself. And I think it's this. What does your hairdryer look like? Right? So if you do it as a non-confrontational thing that I'm telling you the answer, you have to say, oh my gosh, I know you would have figured it out yourself, but I figured it out. So let me show you what I think it is. So give them a chance to save face. Allow them to say, I would have figured it out if I'd had 10 more minutes or a half an hour more, but you know, she's better at using Google than I am. So this lecture I'm giving you is all based off a Skeptical Inquirer, which I write for. And there's some outside that you can get that some of them have articles about my Wikipedia project. One of the articles has, sadly, is an obituary for my partner who would be here, but he died last year. So I wrote an obituary, and because he was a prominent magician, and a skeptic, his article's out there. So if you want to read about that, his name is Mark Edward. But this is Mick West. Hands up, everybody who follows Mick West. He's freaking amazing. He's taking it for us. If you have any interest in UFOs or anything of the sort, Mick West is the go-to. He's amazing. But he wrote this article up called Hairdryers and UFOs. You can find it. You can take a picture of this screen if you want to read it later. I don't see cameras coming up. Take up your phone, take a picture. And so this whole talk, I came from California to give you this talk, and the one I already did a little bit earlier on joining the GSOW project. I also do psychic stings. So if you want to talk to me about psychics, those people who prey on people who are vulnerable, if you want to talk about community, I try to make as many small conferences as I can. I'm concentrating on the United States right now because I'm funded to do so. I came all the way here for you guys, and I'm so happy that you guys came out to see me because it's a long flight and it's very expensive. And I'm only here for the conference. No, I haven't seen Germany. I'm only here for the conference to see you guys. I have been a longtime fellow of GWP, and none of the fellows that I know of have come out to see you guys. And I think it's important that we come out to see what's going on and for me to give this talk. And I thank you for your attention, and that's all I have for you. I'm early.
Wenn dir das Video gefallen hat, dann werde doch GWUP-Mitglied. Damit unterstützt du nämlich unsere wissenschaftliche Aufklärungsarbeit und du wirst Teil einer Community von rational denkenden Menschen, denen kritisches Denken und Vernunft am Herzen liegt. Den Link findest du in der Videobeschreibung.